Good morning, everybody. Candy here. It's time for Friday Love Message, and I'm Candy Wright, your host for the Stop Emotional Eating Over 50 and Lose Up to 50 Pounds for Good series. And I'm an emotional healing coach, weight loss coach, and I help women over 50 lose up to 50 pounds for good forever, as in for the rest of your life. And I help them learn to love their aging bodies and heal both the physical and emotional reasons they're overeating. Think of it like this. I'm your emotional mindset healing trainer that will help you learn to become the person that keeps the weight off for good easily. Okay? So how are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're finding new ways to adjust and learn and grow and letting yourself be human in all its humanness and feel the emotions in this curious quarantine times. I wanted to share some fun messages with you today. And one of the things that we've been doing, one of the things that my husband's been doing to learn and adjust and grow is he's been learning new skills, and he's been making and learning to make videos. And he made the most beautiful video of slides and his memories, like him talking, and kind of put it together for her upcoming birthday. And it was so beautiful. He did the most amazing job. And he also put together a slideshow and a video all together of our wedding dinner where I was singing. And he'd made all the slides that night, and he'd written these gorgeous, fun lyrics, so clever. And it tells the story of how we got married and how it happened over a 2-year period. And I'll include the link down below. It's so fun to watch. It's so fun to watch that and remember our family and our friends there. It just fills me with love and smiles and joy. And I want to talk to you today about how I fell in love with John and compare it to the process of learning to love our aging bodies and ourselves so that we learn to commit to keep the midlife weight off for good. We become that person that allows us to learn to commit to ourselves and really keep that weight off for good. So let me jump into the story. I met John when I was 41. I'd never been married. I dated a lot, but I just couldn't figure out what was going on. I couldn't figure out how to get married, which was something I really wanted deep down. So for years, I felt lonely, kind of lost, resentful, and kind of slightly ashamed. I thought that I should be able to know how to do this, etc., and figure this out already. And it felt like I was really kind of disconnected from my power self in this area of my life. And I really wanted to change this. So I started studying men intensely. And I mean, like, not just like going out and looking at men, but like I started taking courses. I started taking courses on intensely studying men and women and relationships and relationship healing. I took lots of courses and I read lots of books and I got certifications in relationships. And it was in this process that I met John when I was doing these relationship certifications. And we started dating. And even though I liked him immediately, I got really scared. I got really scared to fail again. And all of my default brain systems kicked in, reminding me of how many times I'd failed in the past at trying to get married. But I'd come to the point in my life where I could see my fear and self-doubt patterns, and I knew that if I kept with my old patterns, I'd just break up with him and run away like I had so many times in the past. I could totally relate to that movie, Runaway Bride. I'm like saying to me, I used to watch it all the time, by the way. So something inside of me just really said when I met John, I can't keep doing the same thing and thinking the same things that I've always thought and done and expect different results. I have to do something different this time. So I committed to myself that I wasn't going to let fear overtake me this time, that I wasn't going to let me make the fear make me run away. And I committed to work through the fear. I committed to work through the self-doubt, to figure this out, to do things differently so I could get a different result, which was not only to get married, but also to create an amazing marriage. That's what I really, really wanted. So I committed to myself to stop the fear-filled breakup runaway pattern. I committed to stop the self-doubt pattern of being too afraid to express all my thoughts and fears and concerns about the relationship. I committed to stop the fear pattern of not thinking I was capable of getting married. And these commitments allowed me to start to learn, to start to think differently, to start to grow, to start to trust myself and him. And these commitments to myself allowed me to be committed to communicating with him, even when I was so afraid. And these commitments that I made to myself allowed me to learn to communicate so vulnerably and openly that hope started to kind of creep in for me. And I was starting to feel like it could really work this time. Like, oh my gosh, I can start to figure this out. This is what my clients do. This is what I did in the weight loss process. All of these things relate. And most importantly, when I made this commitment to myself, I was able to learn to allow myself to learn to love, to learn to be loved, and learn that loving was a choice and not just something that happened to me. And it took me 2 years to go through this growth process to get to that wedding altar. He waited patiently. He was always just there waiting for me to learn to let his love in and be in partnership with him. And we got married, and we've been learning new ways to grow and love and trust ever since. And we've known each other for about 8 years. We've been married for almost 6. And I want to compare this to our relationship with our aging bodies and our midlife weight gain and learning to lose that weight for good. And otherwise known as getting to the altar of that permanent, loving, trusting, empowered weight loss, as in for good. So go with me here, okay? Let's kind of compare this and think about yourself. I'm going to compare it with my story with John. Think about you, and as you aged, the midlife weight came on, like it did for me too, and you often felt lost and lonely and maybe even resentful or ashamed, just like I did when I was really wanting to get married. And you felt disconnected from your powerful self in this area of your life. And it doesn't feel like you, and you really want to change. So you've read some books, you've looked at online articles, and you've maybe even tried programs, as many of us have. But each time you did those things, your old default patterns kicked in. You're afraid of failing again. You didn't know how to trust yourself to really change, and you didn't know how to not give in to that fear and self-doubt. So you would just, to not run away and break up again, right? This is what we do with our bodies too. When we really want to learn to lose the weight, sometimes we get stuck in the fear pattern of, oh gosh, I'm getting older. This is just what happens. This is my lot in life. No, that's just fear and self-doubt. And it's a pattern that will keep you from really creating the result that you want. So in the past, when those fear and self-doubt patterns would creep in, you broke up with the process, you ran away from the goal, and you didn't get to the altar of long-term loving, body loving health and renewed vitality and that weight loss goal. Sound familiar? So what I want to offer you, I want you to just think about this. Just like what I did with John, the process of learning to love your aging body and lose the over 50-ish weight for good will require you to make a commitment to yourself to stop thinking that what you've done and believed in the past will work to get you a different result now. It just won't work. Those fear patterns, those self-doubt patterns, they just won't work. And nothing's gone wrong when you have them. It's actually normal. It's what the human brain does. This process will require you to commit to learn to not break up with your goal and run away from it. And this process of learning to love yourself, love your body, and lose this weight for good will require you to commit to learn to stay with your plan, not quit on yourself. And it'll require you to love your body and learn to listen and communicate with your body. And all those things were the things that I see complete parallels with what I was able to learn with John. I had to learn to not break up. I really did. I had to learn to not break up because that was my MO. I had to learn to not quit. I had to learn to be vulnerable. I had to learn to start to listen and let love in. And this is what we do with our bodies. And just like John, your body and my body is so patient. It loves you. And just like John did for me and still does for me, your body has your back and has had your back for such a long time and really just wants you to listen to it. And just like John, your body's waiting for you to let it love you and for you to choose to love it, because loving your body is a choice. It's not just something that happens. And I have to tell you the most yummy story about one of my clients. She just started with me. She'd been feeling lost, lonely, and ashamed. And she was really feeling awful about the fact that her midlife body had gained weight. She was a powerful, high achieving woman like my clients are. And she started feeling so disconnected from her powerful self in this one area of her life. And then she decided to commit to herself to doing something different. And this is what changed everything. She got on a call with me. And on that call, we worked through things together, and she started to decide to no longer run away and quit on herself. She decided to no longer break up with her plans. And honestly, in just 1 week, she's lost several pounds by just learning the small, simple tools to learn to start loving her body and let it love her and listen to it. She's already feeling amazed by herself. I love hearing when my clients feel amazed by themselves, by what they're able to create self-trust and self-confidence wise. And she's already feeling amazed by herself and shocked at how powerful her results that she's created for herself after just 1 week of really committing to go all in for herself. And she's already feeling connected to her powerful self that had felt like it had been missing for a while. And this is what I help my clients do for themselves. This is what I help them do. I help them get to that altar of that midlife weight loss goal easily and lovingly, and by learning to love themselves and their aging bodies. And that was my favorite part of what she said this week. She said, I'm surprised at how easy it's been this week. There was a little struggle first, but it's already getting so much easier. And that's what I want to share with you today. Have a wonderful day, my dear friends. Happy Friday, everyone. Have a great week. And if you're ready to really get to the altar of losing the over 50-ish weight for good, this time as in for good, I'm going to put a link here to get your free coaching complimentary call with me. And you can click on that button to set your complimentary coaching call. And on that call, I'll take you through an amazing process to see where you are, where you really want to be, so that you can connect with that powerful self again, your powerful self again, and how what I offer you will be exactly what you need to get you there to these goals for good this time. Have a great week. Bye-bye.